Welcome back everyone to how you could build a house in Valheim. Unlike my previous video, this one is still easy to build. It can house all your needs until the mist lands, and it's very versatile, meaning it can easily be tweaked and suited for your specific needs. It will give the player the space to fully upgrade the cooking station, the wooden crafting station, the forge, and a decent sized resting area with extra space for whatever a Viking else has in mind. But it does require a bunch of wood for you to gather. But hey, if you like farming wood and want a place to stay and expand from, then this type of house may be for you. First things first, you will need to find a suitable location. So, that means not only do you want to make space enough for your house, but also in case you want to expand in the future. The house itself will be 14 long beams long and 10 long beams wide. In Valheim terms, this means 28 meters long and 20 meters wide. With the gardening tool, patience and a pickaxe, you can flatten the ground to your liking, making it easier to place the beams. In this video, I will level the ground using the gardening tool. If you just started your adventure in Valheim and you don't have a pickaxe yet, just raise the ground with a pole and start from there. Once you are done and satisfied with the area, a good idea is to place crafting tables on each side of the construction site. This will cost more wood, but also make the entire building process so much easier. If you don't want to grind the wood, you can always just take the table with you every time you move a certain distance. Alright, let's get started, shall we? The first thing you want to do is to take the long beam and place two of them right next to each other like this. Now turn the same beam type in a 90-degree angle and place down two of them on each side as shown on the video. Rotate the long beam 90 degrees and place down 6 of them right next to each other in one line. Now place 6 long beams on the other side as well. Rotate the long beam 90 degrees again and place down 5 of them in a straight line. Do the same thing on the other end as well. Be careful because you want every beam to show the color blue so they indicate that they have a full ground support. If the beams are not connected to the ground, then raise the ground towards the beam. Once you are satisfied, connect both sides with 14 long wooden beams. And again, make sure that every beam is connected to the ground indicated by the blue color. Once every beam shows that it is connected to the ground, giving us the maximum amount of support, we can now start placing long poles on each corner of the construction. Once you have placed all the poles down on each corner, your construction should look like this. We also need to place another 2 poles so it mirrors the opposite side as well. Now it's time to place some wooden floors to cover the dirt. If the dirt is showing through the floor, then simply remove the piece of floor and flatten the ground. For the entrance at first, we will start by removing the 2 beams in front and afterwards connect them with stairs, allowing for easy access. You may or may not actually need stairs, but in my case I had to because the ground was a bit lower than the floor. Next we will add the 26-degree wooden wall to give the stairs a more stylish appearance. From here we will add the wooden gate doors on both sides. Keep an eye on how the door is turned before you place them. On the side of the building, follow up on your wooden poles with 2 45 angle wooden walls. Do the same thing on the other side of the building. 2 45 angle wooden walls facing towards the middle. For the stairs we will start off with selecting the half wooden wall. And then we place it 3 floors away from the main entrance. Then we place another one next to it. Make sure that the 2 half walls mirror the entrance opening. Select the wooden stairs and place each one on both sides like in the video. Use the 26-degree wooden walls and place one on each side of both stairs, just like we did on our first set of stairs leading outside. Place 2 wooden floors to cover the hole. Add another set of stairs to connect with the newly placed floor and select the 26-degree wooden walls to place them on each side of the stairs like last time. Pick the long wooden beams and place 2 in a line at the edge of the floor. Select the half wooden wall and place 1 on each side of the staircase in order to close up the gap. Select the small wooden pole and place a pole on each connection point of the staircase. Make sure that the small poles are turned the right way. Select the 26-degree wooden beam and connect the small poles on the staircase. With the long beams we can close up the remaining gap and feel much more secure. Place 2 long beams next to each other, both connected to the 26-degree wall. Select the small poles once again and place them on top of each connection on the staircase just like before. Now we have something to grab onto while using the stairs after a long day of adventuring. Select the wooden wall and place 4 walls next to each other on the other side of the staircase. 2 at the opening and 1 on each side. Place 4 floor pieces after the walls and place another 2 rows of floor pieces afterwards. Pick the long wooden beams for the next task. Connect the ground with the edge of the wooden floors on each corner. This may or may not cause a bit of trouble depending on how the ground looks behind. In my case, I had to raise the ground a tiny bit in order for the poles to connect. If this is the case for you as well, just simply manipulate a bit around the dirt and make it less obvious. Or maybe you like it that way. Your house, your rules. Select the wooden beam and place a beam all around the newly made platform. This will give the platform a more sturdy kind of look. Now select the wooden pole and place 1 pole on each corner of the platform. Lastly, place another long pole on both of the staircase poles that are connected to the platform. Select the wooden wall and place a wooden wall all around the platform, leaving only the staircase entrance open. And make sure that the wooden walls are at the same height. Now select the wooden beam and, just like we did with the wall, place them all around the platform, leaving only the entrance open. Select a 45-degree wooden wall and place 1 on each end of the platform like shown on the video. Place another 45-degree wooden wall so both sides meet in the middle. Do this on each end of the platform. Now select the long wooden beam and connect both ends by placing 3 long wooden beams at the center. It may not be able to support itself at first, so either place them fast or build 1 on each side and place the middle last. Use the 45-degree thatch wood roof and cover up the platform. Do this on both sides and now you won't have to worry about the rain in this area. Place 2 long wooden beams on top of the window. Now select a 26-degree inverted wooden wall and place 1 on each side of the window as shown in the video. Place another 26-degree inverted wooden wall on the entrance just like you did before. Select a wooden wall and place the wooden wall all around the building, except for the last 3. Make sure to keep an eye out that every wall share the same height. Place a long wooden beam on top of every wall that you just placed earlier. Now select the wooden wall again and place 1 on each side of the pillars. You will have to place 12 in total. And the sun is just so positive today, but I did try my best to find the best angles for you to be able to see. Luckily, you can always pause. Your walls should look just like what I have right now, but just in case we'll go back and forward so you can see just in case. Select the wooden wall and place 3 wooden walls on top of the 3 wooden long beams. Do this on the other side of the building as well. Select the wooden half wall and place 1 on each of the 3 wooden walls that you just placed down. Do this on the other side of the building as well. Place a wooden pole on each side of the window. Now place 3 long wooden beams in a line on the lower and the upper part of the window. Do this on the other side of the building as well. Select the wooden half wall and place down 4 wooden half walls from the upper parts of the window until you connect with the other wooden wall. Do this on the other side of the building as well. Just like we did with the other window, place down a pole on each side, then follow up with the wooden long beams on the upper and the lower part of the window. Do this on the other side of the building as well. Place a wooden wall on each side of the entrance next to the door. Make sure that they have the same height. Now we want to place a long wooden beam on top of every wooden wall that we recently made. At the entrance, place the beams above the door in the same height as the rest of the beams. Repeat the same with the wooden walls on the opposite side of the building. Just like we did with the other window, place down a wooden pole on each side, then follow up with a wooden long beam on the upper and the lower part of the window. Don't forget to place down the long wooden beams on top of the half wooden walls either. From the wooden wall atop the staircase, place down a wooden long beam until you reach the other wooden wall. If it breaks down before you get to the other side, simply place from both sides and meet in the middle. Select the half wooden wall and from the entrance move it 3 floors to the side of the building. Now place down 2 half wooden walls next to each other from the outer wooden wall. Now add a wooden pole on the side of the half wall that points towards the middle. Select the wooden long beam and place down a beam on each of the wooden half walls that you just placed down. In the opening next to our staircase, select the wooden long beam and place down 2x2 wooden long beams until you have formed a 2x2 square. Now place a wooden wall on each of the beams that you just placed down. Now select the long wooden beam again and place a beam on each of the wooden wall that you just placed down. Use 2 long wooden poles and connect the floor through the wooden wall up to the wooden beam. Remember to place a long wooden pole on the right side as well. For this you will need to gain a bit of altitude. Jump on top of your construction or build something easy to get on top of. By the end of the first long wooden beam, place down 2 long wooden poles on top of each other. Place another wooden long pole on the main construction in a direct line behind the other pole that you just placed down. Place down another wooden long pole by the end of the roof. Add another long wooden pole 1 step out from the first pole. Now select the 45-degree wooden wall and place a 45-degree wooden wall on each side of the outer beam facing inwards. Select the 45-degree thatch roof and place down 2 45-degree thatch roofs next to each other from the outer beam facing inwards. Now select a wooden wall and place down 1 wooden wall on the left side while facing away from the main construction. Now add the long wooden beam and place in total 3 long wooden beams on top of 2 roofs and 1 wooden wall. Place down 2 long wooden beams on each side connecting both ends. Now add the 45-degree thatch roof and place down 2 45-degree thatch roofs on top of the wooden long beam. Now select the wooden long beam and place down a wooden long beam on each end connecting both long poles. It's finally time to finish up our roof. Select the 45-degree thatch roof and place down 5 45-degree wooden thatch roofs in a line next to each other. Place down another 5 45-degree thatch roof on top of the previous 5 45-degree thatch roof you just placed down. Do the same on the other side of the roof, except this time you will need to add another roof tile, making it a total of 6 45-degree thatch roof roofs. And just like before, follow up by another 6 45-degree thatch wood roofs on top of the previous 6 45-degree thatch wood roofs you just placed down. Select the 45-degree thatch roof and place 2 next to each other on each side of the entrance. Just like you did on the other end of the building, place down 6 45-degree thatch roofs and add another 6 45-degree thatch roofs on top of the previous ones you just placed down. Do the same on the other side, but only add 5 45-degree roof tiles. On each corner we will have to add a 45-degree thatch roof corner tile. You will need to place down a total of 4 corner tiles for now. Near the entrance, place down the last 2 45-degree thatch roof tiles. Both sides with only 5 roof tiles can now be given the last 6 roof tile. Place down a 45-degree flat roof tile on each side of the upper staircase entrance. Select the 45-degree corner flat roof tile and place one on each side above the staircase entrance. Once again, we need some altitude. Place down some stairs or whatever you want in order to get on top of the building. Select the 45-degree wood roof cross and place it aligned with the roof like in the video. Do this on the other side of the building as well. Now select the 45-degree flat roof ridge and close up the hole from one cross to the other. Select the wooden long pole and place it on top of the other wooden long pole, connecting them both from the floor to the roof beam. Add a wooden wall next to the left wooden wall in order to close up the gap. Select the wooden gate and place it on top of the long wooden beam. Followed up by adding a half wooden wall on top of the door. Now place a long wooden beam between the door and the half wall. Now open the door, remove the long wooden beam underneath the door, go outside and place down a wooden staircase connecting it to the floor from the ground. Close the door for easier clipping access and place down a 26-degree wooden wall on the side of the wooden stairs. Depending on how far you are in Valheim's progression, there is enough room to place down a stone hearth. But if you're making this as your starter home, simply place down 2 or more campfires. Above the fireplace, add 2 half wooden walls and afterwards place down 2 long wooden beams underneath. Select the wooden long beam and hold down the control key to manually being able to place where you want it to be. Try and place it right above the other long wooden beams in order to raise the border just a bit. Our fireplace should now be somewhat dummy proof and we won't take damage from smoke or the fire. Place down some cooking stations above the campfires. I prefer a maximum of 2 cooking stations above each campfire, but then again, it's your house, it's your rules. Just like we did underneath, place down 2 wooden long beams above the campfire. You can use this as a small place to hang down stuff or whatever your creativity tells you to do. Place down a wooden half wall on the left side of the door facing inwards towards the middle. Turn a new wooden half wall 90 degrees and place another. Turn a third wooden half wall 90 degrees backwards and place it down. Now place a fourth wooden half wall after turning it 90 degrees once again. Place down a wooden pole on each of the 3 corners. Afterwards, place down a long wooden beam on each of the half wooden walls. Place down 3 wooden floors to cover up the hole. This may or may not be a bit tricky, but take it slowly. Pick up the wooden beam, align it with the wooden pole. Then hold down the control key and turn the wooden beam once. Try and align both corners as you do this, before placing it down. Now go to the other side and mirror the same process as you just did. Hold down the control key and gain full control. Pick the last wooden beam and turn it only once. Once again hold the control key to gain full control and try align it with the other wooden beams. This place will serve as our fermenting area for all the amazing meats we will make. Place them near the edge so our small self-made wooden basket will catch them all. Remove the third floor tile and select the long wooden beam and place a long wooden beam on each side of the hole. Place a campfire in the middle. With this campfire we will use the place for a cauldron to make meat and other kinds of food. If you can't make the cauldron, no problem, just wait until you can. It's not like it's going anywhere. Select the wooden beam and place the wooden beam up high above the campfire. This will serve as an upgrading spot for the cauldron. The spice rack upgrade requires a lot of space like shown on the video, so this is perfect. The stone oven can be placed next to the campfire. It is heavy though, so once you are ready to craft it, remove the wooden floor and place it on the dirt, or make a stone floor. Last but not least, use 2 half wooden walls and place them in a 90-degree angle of each other. Place down a wooden pole in the corner. Now cover the hole with a wooden floor. Now place down a wooden long beam on top of each wooden half wall. This place will serve as another cooking upgrading spot. We have another cooking upgrade that will also be placed on the wall in front of us. We haven't placed the actual cauldron yet, so everything will appear as unavailable until it is placed. A Viking without a bed is forced to spawn at the sacrificial stones, so we will have to do something about that. Now, depending on your progression, you can choose between different beds. The dragon bed and the bed. This time we will use the dragon bed. Place the bed in the middle. You can somewhat use the bed's cross to point at the middle. There are different storage chests in Valheim, and depending on your progression, you will have more or less to choose from. Here we will use the reinforced chest. Place the chest as close to the bed as you want. Now pick a small wooden floor and press it towards the wooden wall behind it. Slide it as close to the chest as you like. Now place another small wooden floor next to the previous one. Follow what I do on the screen and see if you can do something similar or even better. Since this has less things to do with snapping and more of a free placement issue, it's hard to tell you what to do. If you somehow succeed and not given up yet, try to do it on the other side as well. You can place down a small wooden wall at the end to give it a more sturdy look. And place another chest or two. I mean, why not? It is your bedroom after all, so you decide how you want your sleeping quarters to look like. With enough creativity, you can turn everything in Valheim into something amazingly unique. But you don't have to do everything at once. I am simply showing you how you could place some of the things. The entrance is not quite done yet. Select the long wooden pole and connect the ground wooden beam with the wooden beam above the wooden gate. Do this on both sides of the gates. Now close the gap between the gates and the wooden beam by using a half wooden wall and place one above both gates. Pick a long wooden beam and place a beam above both wooden gates. Now pick a 45-degree wooden beam and place one on each side of the roof tile. Pick a 45-degree wooden beam and connect it with the other 45-degree wooden beam in the same angle. Now add another 45-degree wooden beam with a single turn towards the building. Add a third 45-degree wooden beam and turn it once again towards the building. Do this on the opposite side as well. Select a half wooden wall and place a half wooden wall on the third floor tile towards the center. Place two half walls in a straight line next to each other on each side, leaving the middle floor open. Place down a long wooden pole on each end of the half wooden wall. Now place down a long wooden beam on each half wooden wall you just placed down. Place the workbench on the second wooden floor leading towards the middle. While looking at the workbench, place now in the right corner 3 small wooden floor tiles. Here the workbench training rack upgrade can be placed if you choose to. Since this is mostly on a personal level, I will let the video move forward until every upgrade from the workbench and the forge has been placed. You decide where everything goes, your house, your rules. I will however say though that both of the wooden log workbench upgrades has been placed outside in reach of the workbench. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of how you could build a home in Valheim. Smash the like button with the Raffer 4 if you would like to see more of these videos. Until next time.